You ever get that itch? Like you've tried every damn handgun out there and none of them gave you that rush, that snap when the trigger breaks clean, or that feeling like the whole thing's molded for your hand and your hand only? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet, because this is the final countdown. The last damn list you're gonna need this year if you're looking to walk out of a shop feeling like you've made the right call. I've got 10 handguns lined up here, some new, some sleeper hits, but all of them worth every damn round. And don't skip now, because the one I saved for the end, it's not just a gun, it's a damn statement. So grab your coffee, sit back, and if you're thinking about buying something this year, don't pull the trigger until you finish this list. If you're skipping the PSA Dagger Micro in 2025, you're missing out on one of the wildest budget punches in the micro compact scene. You would think that for this price, you'd get the usual junk, janky trigger, rattling slide, and poor finish, but nope. This little thing shows up dressed like a Glock 43X's younger, wilder cousin with front serrations, optics cut, and even front rail support, all for under $300. The best part? It's not trying to be perfect. The trigger's not world class. The slide stop feels like it was made during lunch break, but that's the charm. It's raw and honest. You take it to the range expecting a misfeed, and it runs mag after mag like it's got something to prove. People bought it as a beater, but now they're carrying it daily. Why? Because it actually holds up. If you've always trusted big name guns, this is the year to challenge yourself. Try the Dagger Micro. It's not about the name on the slide, it's about proving the hype wrong. Next up, we go from the underdog to a trusted titan that still refuses to lead the top charts in 2025. You ever pick up a gun and go, damn, this thing's trying way too hard? That's what the 43X felt like at first. Tiny frame, short barrel, trying to be all things at once. Concealment king, red dot ready, extra rounds, Glock name slapped on it like a badge of honor. But here's the twist. It actually lived up to the hype. Eventually. Early on, people weren't sold on it. Too slim, awkward grip length, weird magazine compatibility unless you modded with shield arms or carry half loaded. But this thing clawed its way back with MOS capability. Slap a Holosun on it, and suddenly it's punching way above its weight. That's what saved it. Not being perfect, but being upgradable. Real shooters made it better, not Glock. And now, 2025's buyers can't stop picking it up. Because when a gun gets better because of its flaws, it earns respect. If you've got one collecting dust or never gave it a fair run, this year's the time. Because the next pistol on this list, let's just say it's everything this one isn't, and I still can't stop carrying it. You don't realize how outdated your carry setup is until you try something that makes it all feel wrong. This is exactly what the P365X Macro did to me in 2025, and I swear, if you haven't tried it yet, you're missing the pistol that might replace everything else you carry. It's been bouncing between a Glock 43X and a Hellcat Pro. I thought I'd figured it all out, but then I ran the SIG. First mag in, and I felt the recoil different. Flat, soft, and stable. Second mag, I noticed I was faster. Third mag, I realized I didn't want to go back. This gun fits 17 rounds in a slim frame that carries like a micro. But what makes it dangerous? You don't know how good it is until it's in your hand, and by then, it's already ruined every other compact for you. You don't have to switch, but I'm telling you, if there's one gun you try before 2025 ends that might wreck your whole carry setup, that would be this one. And the next pick? It couldn't be more different. Newer, tougher, built like a tank, and probably the best all-round sleeper carry of the year. I'm gonna be straight with you. I didn't want to put a Taurus on this list. Hell, I didn't even want to shoot the GX4. After all, I've been burned before. The G3C gave me more gems than a truck stop breakfast, so when I saw the GX4 Toro, I just rolled my eyes and moved on. But the range don't lie. A buddy of mine brought one out, optics ready, clean setup. I told him, alright, but don't cry when it chokes. He just smiled, and 10 mags later, not one hiccup. Just clean groups and smooth cycle. It even ran my garbage steel case like it was match ammo. What shook me was the control. It's compact, but it shoots like it's got some weight to it. The reset felt sharp, and the dot stayed home. Not flashy or even overbuilt, just right. And I hate that it made me admit that this is the Taurus they should have been making 10 years ago. If you've ever doubted the brand, try this one this year. It won't just prove you wrong, it might make you carry it. This one's not new. Hell, I've owned one since Beretta first dumped them on shelves, but in 2025, I finally ran it the way it deserved. I used to think of it as my forgotten carry, sat it in the safe, never jammed, but never excited me either. Then I threw it in a holster again this year just to see if I was being unfair, and I'll be damned. That thin frame melted into my belt. The grip texture dug in just enough, and even after 200 rounds of mixed steel, reloads, and hollow points, the thing just wouldn't quit. Yeah, the trigger's still a little long. Yeah, the slide feels a bit stiff, but the reliability, undeniable. Online reviews this year finally caught up too. Guys pushing 1,000 rounds without cleaning, still calling it one of the most overlooked micros of the decade. If you've been sleeping on your own APX A1 Carry or never gave it a real shot, make 2025 the year you try it properly. It may not win any awards, but it might just shut you up like it did to me. And if that one surprised you, wait until you see the next entry. It's smaller, snappier, and twice as mean. I used to think this was a gun for show-offs. Fancy slide serrations, flashy finish, 1911 style in a shrunken little pocket piece. Looked more like a barbecue gun than something you trust when it counts. But here's the truth. In 2025, I finally carried it, really carried it, and it changed the way I think about EDC altogether. This thing disappears in the waistband, doesn't snag, doesn't shift, and shoots way softer than any Micro 1911 has any right to. That single action trigger breaks like glass, and the recoil impulse, barely there. I ran 3 mags back to back and caught myself smiling, not because it was fancy, but because it was easy. Yes, it's picky with ammo, and no, it may not be cheap, but if you've never trusted anything this small and this classic, try one this year before writing it off. I did, and now it rides with me more days than I care to admit. Man, don't skip. There's something off about how little love the CZP-10C gets compared to all the big names out there. You've got folks drooling over Glocks, arguing about SIGs, but this thing, it's sitting quiet and it shouldn't be. I still remember the first time I shot it at the range. No hype, no expectations. Just me, a friend's loaner, and half a box of 9mm. I thought, alright, let's see how this checkmate sleeper feels. By the 3rd magazine, I was straight up pissed I hadn't bought one sooner. It's got that clean flat trigger, a grip angle that feels like it was molded just for your hand, and recoil so mild it makes rapid follow-ups feel surgical. And the best part? It does all of this without pretending to be tactical or flashy. It's just pure performance. Every critic that puts rounds through it comes away with the same look. That quiet nod, the oh damn. Don't sleep on it in 2025, because the real question is, are you confident enough to ditch the hype and try something better? Well, then wait till you see what's up next. I didn't plan on carrying this much. Hell, it wasn't even on my top 3 rotation last year, but something changed. The more I shot this thing in 2025, the more it started doing what other pistols couldn't. I toss it in the bag, thinking I'd just run a few drills, and ended up running it the whole damn day. The grip locked in, the trigger stayed sharp, and every string I ran felt smoother than it had any right to. I started noticing it after a few weeks. The guns I used to trust were getting dusty, and this compact, the one I barely talked about, kept riding in the holster. It didn't earn its spot with flash, it earned it by showing up, quietly outperforming pistols twice its size and price day after day. You don't need to believe the hype. Just try it this year, and when you're done running it, wait until you feel what comes next. Let's just say it's not subtle, and it sure as hell doesn't apologize. There's a reason this one rides with me every damn day. 2 days ago, I'm standing in line at the gas station, middle of nowhere. A guy 3 spots ahead starts yelling, loud, sloppy, and full of something. He stumbles back toward the entrance, lifts his shirt like he's showing something off. The clerk freezes. I shift position, clear cover, hands already on steel. Nothing happened, but it could have. And that's the moment you stop caring about trigger weight or slide cuts. You just care that your carry is there and ready and won't fail if the worst hits. This gun earns that trust. Solid weight, zero flex, clean break, and it shoots like it's angry you even questioned it. I've run it wet, dropped it in gravel, sweated all over it in 110-degree heat, never once cleaned it midweek, still runs perfect. If you're serious about what rides with you, you need to try this one before the year's out, because there's only one pistol left on this list, and it's the only thing that made me second guess this. If you asked me what's actually riding on my hip when it matters, this is the one. Not because it's perfect, not because it's some kind of breakthrough, but because day after day, it just does the job without making a scene. I've carried this thing longer than I expected to. I kept meaning to rotate it out, give something else a fair shake, but then I'd run a few drills or hit the range after a long week, and I'd remember why it stayed. The grip, the ride, the way it handles when your hands are slick or your mind's not sharp, it just works. You stop questioning gear when it stops giving you reasons to. You don't need to chase anything with this one. You just carry it and move on. Try it in 2025 if you haven't, because the only reason it's number one is that everything else made room for it. What comes after? That's the pistol that almost stole the spot, and if you're not careful, it still might. This one wasn't even on my radar, not seriously. I always figured it was fine. A solid micro, good value, but I didn't carry it. My cousin did. He's not a gun guy like me. Doesn't even watch the reviews, doesn't mod triggers, or chase the next optic-ready trend. He just wanted one pistol that was simple, reliable, and easy to carry, so he picked the Max 9. I shrugged. 2 weeks ago, I went to visit him out past Amarillo. Before I even got through the door, he drops it on the table. "Here," he says, "I think I finally outshot you." I laughed until I saw the groups. Clean, tight, fast follow-up shots. No excuses, no gear talk, just performance. We ran drills behind a shed till sundown, and that little gun kept punching like it had something to prove. That night, I cleaned mine and carried something different the next day. I haven't stopped carrying the Max 9 since then. You don't need to hype this one, you just need to try it before 2025 ends, and it'll prove you wrong. Because if this had made it to number one, just wait until you see what didn't. I bought this as a joke. You know the type. Cheap 1911 and 9mm Turkish import under $400. Figured I'd shoot it once, clean it twice, and give it away to some cousin who keeps asking me what to buy. That was 2 years ago. I still own it, still shoot it, and every time I do, I end up shaking my head like it just pulled something off it wasn't supposed to. Is it pretty? No. Is it tight like a custom rig? Definitely not. But that's the thing. It shoots right. Trigger's better than it should be. Grooves are tighter than I'll admit on camera. It eats range ammo like it's trying to impress someone. I've had nicer guns jammed next to it. I've had real 1911s act up while this one just kept doing its job. You don't have to carry it. Just try it once in 2025 and tell me it didn't make you question what you're really paying for. This one didn't need to prove anything, but it still did. You pick it up and immediately feel how put together it is. No rattle, no rough edges, just a striker gun that feels like someone actually gave a damn. Most pistols in this price range ask you to lower your expectations. This one tells you to bring them up. First time I saw it run, it wasn't even in my hands. A guy at the indoor range put 4 mags through it fast. No flinch, no drift, and dead on the whole time. I asked to try it. He just smiled and handed it over like he knew what was coming. Everything clicked. The grip angle, the way it tracked, the short reset, all of it felt locked in. No warm-up, no excuses. You don't necessarily have to own it, but in 2025, you'd be smart to run one just once and see what it does to your favorites. This isn't your daily carry. It's your backup plan when the power's out and the trucks ain't coming. The FN 509 Tactical doesn't ask if you're comfortable, it asks if you're ready. Suppressor height sights, optic ready slide, threaded barrel, full grip, real capacity. It comes set up like it already knows what kind of night you're gonna have. It's not light or even pretty. It's not something you pick just because it looks cool in a waistband, but when you run it hard, throw it dirty, press it fast, it holds together like it's welded shut. This one's for dudes who shoot with gloves, drag holsters across gravel, and aren't impressed by trigger kits. It's a pistol that feels like it was built for something heavier than weekends. Try it out in 2025 if you've got the range time and the ammo stash to keep it up. Because the next one, let's just say it's the opposite. Same fight, cleaner suit. It showed up in a Pelican case like it was dressed to party. I told myself I'd shoot it once, just enough to say I gave it a fair run. 30 minutes tops, and then back to the real guns. That was 2 weeks ago. And since then, I've put 800 rounds through it. Everything about it made me want to hate it. The finish, the price tag, the custom fit, the way it practically monks you for carrying anything else. But the damn thing just performs. Fast splits, surgical follow-ups, recoil that doesn't feel real. I don't think it's for everyone, but if you've never run something this dialed in before, you need to this year, even once, just to feel what it's like when a pistol does everything right and makes it look boring. Try it once in 2025 and then tell me your carry gun still feels premium. If you've been chasing the next best thing this year, chances are you passed this one by. Meanwhile, it kept doing its thing. Folks who've run it hard say things like 0 failures after thousands of rounds and call it the benchmark for reliability. That's not hype, it's just what happens when a gun simply refuses to quit. I took mine back out after hammering a bunch of newer toys. When I switched to the Glock, it felt familiar in a way the others didn't. Grip just locked in. No funny timing, no weird quirks, just dependable. If you're going into 2025 thinking you already own a reliable carry, try this one once, because if it's still the one you reach for at the end of the day, you'll know why it's earned the legacy. So let me ask you straight, what's your excuse now? You've just seen 10 of the most capable, battle-proven handguns that are still tearing up the range in 2025. These aren't internet fantasies or overpriced wall queens. They're shooters, fighters, carriers, guns with history, grit, and reputations forged in calloused hands, not just gun store counters. You want something that feels right in your palm, that actually earns your trust when it matters? Then don't waste another dime chasing gimmicks or falling for shiny ads. Start with what works. The guns we just counted down. And if even one of these got your trigger finger twitching, you know what to do. This has been your boy Steve, and if this list saved you time, cash, or regret, do the right thing and hit that button, drop a comment, and join the crew. And remember, the final countdown ain't just a title. For some folks, this list might just be their last chance to pick right before they carry wrong. See you next time.